She cared for a lonely old man until he made her an offer she couldn't refuse. Quick question before we start. Where are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments. The neon sign of the me toker chimed. A blast of cold wind and rain swept in. A hunched figure shuffled through the door. It was old Man Artie. He wore the same tattered tweed coat he always wore, patches on the elbows, soaked through. He was shivering, clutching a plastic bag that contained all his worldly possessions. Or so everyone thought. "Hey, Artie." Mia's face lit up instantly. The exhaustion vanished. "You're late tonight. I saved you the corner booth near the heater." "Thank you, child," Arthur rasped, coughing into a handkerchief. He moved slowly, his joints clicking. "Just a coffee tonight, Mia. Don't have much on me." He started to dig into his pocket for loose change. Mia stopped him, placing a gentle hand on his trembling one. "On the house," she whispered with a wink. "And the cook accidentally made too much meatloaf. You have to help me eat it or I'll get in trouble." It was a lie. She paid for his meal out of her own tips every night. Arthur looked at her. His eyes, usually sharp, were cloudy tonight. "You're a good girl, Mia," he said softly. "Too good for this place." "I'm fine, Artie, eat up." She watched him eat with a voracious appetite. He looked frailer than usual, paler. Suddenly Arthur dropped his fork. The clatter echoed in the silent diner. He clutched his chest, his face twisting in agony. He didn't make a sound, just gasped for air, his eyes rolling back. "Artie!" Mia vaulted over the counter. She caught him just as he slumped sideways. "Call 911!" she screamed at the cook in the back. She held the old man, loosening his scarf. "Stay with me, Artie. Stay with me. You're going to be okay." "Mia," he wheezed, gripping her wrist with surprising strength. "Don't let them take me alone." "I'm coming with you," she promised, tears mixing with the rain on his coat. "I'm not leaving you." The ambulance ride was a blur of sirens and panic. Mia sat in the waiting room, still wearing her diner apron, her hands shaking. She looked out of place, among the sterile white walls. She was terrified, not just for Artie, but for herself. She had left her shift. Her boss would fire her. She had $20 in her bank account, but she couldn't leave him. He had no one. A nurse walked out. "Family of Arthur Sterling?" I'm his friend." Mia stood up. "Is he okay? Can I see him?" The nurse looked at her strangely, not with pity, but with confusion. "Mr. Sterling has been stabilized. He's asking for you. He's been moved to the penthouse suite." Mia blinked. "The what?" "The VIP wing, top floor. There must be a mistake," Mia stammered. He's homeless. He doesn't have insurance." The nurse gave her a tight smile. "Trust me, miss. He has insurance. Follow me." Mia followed the nurse into an elevator that required a keycard. When the doors opened, Mia gasped. This wasn't a hospital floor. It looked like a luxury hotel. Marble floors, art on the walls, silence. They walked into a room that was bigger than Mia's entire apartment. Arthur was lying in a massive high-tech hospital bed. He was hooked up to monitors, but he looked cleaner. The tattered coat was gone, replaced by silk pajamas. "Artie," Mia whispered, stepping inside. "Hello, Mia." Arthur smiled weakly. His voice was stronger now. "I don't understand." Mia looked around at the mahogany furniture and the view of the city lights. "What is this place? Who paid for this?" "I did," Arthur said simply. Before Mia could ask another question, the double doors behind her slammed open. A man stormed in. He brought the storm with him. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a bespoke black suit that screamed power. His face was a mask of fury and worry. He had Arthur's sharp jawline, but his eyes were cold steel. This was Liam Sterling, the CEO of Sterling Corp., the most eligible bachelor in the city, and known in the business world as the Ice Prince. "Grandfather!" Liam ignored Mia completely, rushing to the bedside. "I was in Tokyo. I took the jet as soon as the alert came in. What happened? Why weren't you with security?" "Grandfather?" Mia repeated, her voice tiny. Liam spun around. He seemed to notice her for the first time. He scanned her dirty apron, her worn shoes, her messy hair. His lip curled in distaste. "Who is this?" Liam demanded, his voice sharp. "A nurse? She's the one who saved my life, Liam," Arthur said sternly. "Show some respect. This is Mia." "Mia." Liam tested the name like it was poison. "Right, the waitress. My security team told me you've been feeding him." He reached into his jacket, pulled out a checkbook, and scribbled something quickly. He ripped the check out and thrust it at her. $10,000, Liam said coldly. For your trouble. Now get out. This is a family matter. Mia looked at the check, then at Liam's arrogant face. She felt heat rise in her cheeks. Not shame, anger. I didn't help him for money, Mia said. She took the check and tore it into 4 pieces, letting them flutter to the floor. I helped him because he's my friend, unlike you, who apparently needs a jet to come see him. Liam looked stunned. No one spoke to him like that. Enough, Arthur's voice cut through the tension. He sat up, wincing. Liam, stop trying to buy people. Mia, come here. Mia walked to the other side of the bed, glaring at Liam. I don't have much time left, Arthur said, looking at both of them. The doctors say my heart is failing. I have maybe a month. Don't say that. Liam's voice cracked, the mask slipping for a second. We have the best specialists. Listen to me, Arthur commanded. I have an empire to leave behind, and I have a reckless, workaholic grandson who doesn't know the first thing about kindness. He looked at Mia. And I have a dear friend who is drowning in debt and works herself to the bone. Arthur took a deep breath. I have updated my will, Liam. You inherit the company and the estate. But there is a condition. Condition? Liam narrowed his eyes. What condition? Arthur smiled, a mischievous glint returning to his eye. You only get the inheritance if you marry Mia. Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. What? Liam and Mia shouted in unison. You heard me, Arthur said calmly, leaning back against the pillows. You marry her. You stay married for 1 year. You take care of her. If you refuse, I donate the entire sterling fortune to charity. Every penny. He looked at Mia, his expression softening. And you, Mia, if you agree, you will receive $10 million of your own when the year is up. You'll never have to wipe a table again. This is blackmail, Liam roared. You can't be serious. She's a nobody. She's the woman who saved me while you were in meetings, Arthur countered. He looked at Mia, who was paralyzed with shock. It's my last wish, Mia, Arthur whispered, playing his final card. Please, help me teach him how to be human. Help me save him. And let me save you. Mia looked at the old man. She loved like a grandfather. She looked at the furious, handsome billionaire who hated her. She looked at her torn shoes. Arthur held out his hand. Do we have a deal? The silence in the room following Arthur's ultimatum was heavy enough to crush bones. Arthur lay back against the pillows, closing his eyes. The faint beep of the heart monitor, the only sound marking the passage of time. He looked peaceful, almost smug, like a chess player who had just announced checkmate 3 moves before the game ended. Liam Sterling stood frozen. His hands, usually steady when signing billion-dollar mergers, were clenched into fists at his sides. The veins in his neck pulsed against the starch of his collar. He stared at his grandfather, looking for the joke. Ideally, Arthur would laugh, cough, and say it was a lesson in humility. But Arthur didn't laugh. Get out, Liam said. His voice was a low growl, directed entirely at Mia without looking at her. What? Mia asked, her voice trembling. The adrenaline of the emergency was fading, replaced by a cold, creeping dread. I said get out. Liam turned to her then. His eyes were glacial. Wait in the hallway. I need to speak to my grandfather alone. Unless you want to negotiate your prenup right here over his dying body? Mia felt the sting of his tone like a physical slap. She looked at Arthur. The old man opened one eye and gave her a barely perceptible nod. Go on, Mia, Arthur rasped. There are comfortable chairs outside. And free. Espresso. Mia grabbed her purse, a cheap peeling vinyl bag that looked ridiculous next to the Hermes blanket on the bed, and fled the room. The heavy door clicked shut behind her. Mia leaned against the cool wall of the corridor, sliding down until she hit the floor. She buried her face in her hands. The smell of expensive lilies and antiseptic filled her nose. He's crazy, she whispered to the empty hall. They're both crazy. Inside the room, the volume rose. It was muffled, but she could hear Liam's baritone shouting, You can't do this. Watch me. She's a gold digger. She probably fed you sugar to spike your heart rate. She's the only honest person I've met in 10 years, Liam. Mia covered her ears. She wanted to leave. She should leave. She should walk to the elevator, press L, and run back to her tiny, damp apartment on the east side. But she couldn't, because Arthur was sick, and because, deep down, a treacherous voice in her head was whispering, $10 million. $10 million meant her mother's medical bills paid. It meant no more double shifts. It meant eating something other than leftover diner meatloaf. The door flew open. Liam stormed out. He looked like he had gone 12 rounds with a boxer and lost. His hair was slightly disheveled, his tie loosened. He saw Mia sitting on the floor. He stopped, looming over her like a thundercloud. "Get up," he commanded. Mia scrambled to her feet, dusting off her apron. She refused to look small. She lifted her chin, meeting his gaze. "Did you convince him to drop it?" she asked hopefully. "He's stubborn." Liam spat the word. "He's senile, but he holds the voting rights to the board until he dies. If he signs that charity donation order, Sterling Corp stock plunges by morning. Thousands of people lose their jobs. My legacy evaporates." He took a step closer, invading her personal space. He smelled of rain, expensive cologne, and pure aggression. "So," Liam said, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper, "here is how this is going to work. You are going to go back in there and tell him you can't do it. You are going to tell him you have a boyfriend, a fiancé, a criminal record. I don't care what you lie about. Just make him change his mind." Mia stared at him. "You want me to lie to a dying man?" "I want you to fix the mess you created," Liam snapped. "You wormed your way into his life with your free coffee and your sob stories." "I never told him a sob story," Mia interrupted, her anger flaring hot and bright. "We talked about baseball and old movies. I didn't even know he had money until an hour ago." "Don't play innocent with me," Liam sneered. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his wallet. Leather, sleek, bulging. He pulled out a platinum credit card. "Name your price." Mia blinked. "Excuse me?" To walk away, Liam clarified. "Arthur offered you 10 million? That's a pipe dream. You have to wait a year, and you have to tolerate me. I'll give you 1 million right now. Cash transfer. Tonight, you disappear. You never see him again." Mia looked at the card. $1 million. It was more money than she would make in 20 lifetimes serving coffee. It was freedom. All she had to do was abandon the old man who was scared to die alone. She thought of Arthur's gripping hand. "Don't let them take me alone." She looked at Liam's face. Arrogant, entitled, convinced that everyone had a barcode on their forehead. Something inside Mia snapped. It was the pride she had held on to while scrubbing floors and serving rude customers for years. "Put your card away," Mia said quietly. Liam looked surprised. "It's not enough? 2 million? I said put it away." Mia stepped closer, forcing him to step back. "You think you can buy everything, don't you? You think because you wear a suit that costs more than my education, you get to dictate reality." "I do dictate reality," Liam said coldly. "I run this city. You don't run me," Mia said. "Arthur asked me for a favor. He asked me to help him, and he asked me to help you." "I don't need your help," Liam scoffed. "Yes, you do," Mia said, looking him up and down with pity. "Because you're standing here, bargaining with a waitress to lie to your dying grandfather instead of just being a grandson." She turned around and pressed the elevator button. "I'm going home, Mr. Sterling. I have a cat to feed and a shift tomorrow morning. Tell Arthur I'll visit him when the shark leaves the tank." "If you walk away," Liam called out to her back, "the deal is off. You get nothing." The elevator doors opened. Mia stepped inside. "I already have nothing," she said simply, "so I have nothing to lose." The doors closed. 1 hour later, the apartment building was in the Bronx, 5 flights up, no elevator. Mia trudged up the stairs, her legs burning. The smell of boiled cabbage and stale cigarettes permeated the hallway. She unlocked her door, 3 locks, because the neighborhood was rough, and stepped inside. It was a studio apartment the size of a closet, a mattress on the floor, a hot plate, a leaky faucet that dripped a rhythmic torture. Drip, drip, drip. "Mr. Whiskers?" she called out. A scruffy, one-eared orange tabby cat jumped down from the windowsill and rubbed against her legs. "Hey, buddy." Mia picked him up, burying her face in his fur. "You won't believe the night I had." She walked to the counter to open a can of cat food. She reached for the cupboard. It was empty. She checked the fridge. Half a carton of milk and a withered apple. Mia sighed, putting the cat down. "Sorry, Mr. Whiskers. I forgot to stop at the store." The truth was, she didn't have the money. She had used her last cash to pay the electric bill so the lights wouldn't get cut off again. She sat on the edge of the mattress, still in her uniform. The adrenaline was gone, leaving a hollow ache in her chest. She looked around the room, the peeling paint, the draft, coming from the window. She thought about the $1 million Liam had offered. I should have taken it, she thought bitterly. I'm an idiot. A proud, broke idiot. She picked up her phone to check her messages. There was a voicemail. It wasn't from her boss. It was from the nursing home where her mother lived. Ms. Collins, this is Administrator Green. We're calling regarding your mother's account. The payment for this month is overdue. If we don't receive the $3,000 by Friday, we will have to initiate the transfer to a state facility. Please call us back. Mia dropped the phone on the mattress. Friday. That was in 2 days. A state facility meant overcrowding. It meant her mother, who had early onset dementia and got scared of loud noises, would be terrified and alone. Mia put her head between her knees. She couldn't breathe. She had played the noble hero at the hospital. She had marched out with her dignity, but dignity didn't pay for nursing homes. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Mia froze. Nobody knocked at this hour. Usually it was trouble. She stood up, grabbing a heavy frying pan from the drying rack. Who is it? She called out, her voice trembling. Open the door, Mia. The voice was deep, muffled by the wood, but unmistakable. It was Liam Sterling. Mia lowered the pan. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She unlocked the 3 locks with shaking hands and opened the door. Liam was standing in her dingy hallway. He looked completely out of place, like a diamond dropped in the mud. He was still wearing his suit, but he was soaking wet. The rain outside must have been torrential. He looked past her, scanning the tiny, sad apartment. His eyes took in the mattress on the floor, the empty fridge, the one-eared cat. He didn't sneer this time. He just looked blank. How did you find me? Mia asked, clutching the doorframe. I have resources, Liam said. May I come in? Why? Because I don't want to shout my business in the, hallway, he said, glancing at a neighbor's door that had just cracked open. Mia stepped back, letting him in. He filled the room. The ceiling was too low for him. He seemed to suck all the air out of the space. Nice place, he said dryly. It has a roof, Mia defended. Mostly. Liam turned to face her. He looked tired. The fury from the hospital was gone, replaced by a cold, pragmatic resolve. Arthur had another episode, he said. Mia gasped. He's stable, Liam said quickly, but the stress isn't helping. He is refusing to take his medication until I agree to the terms. He is holding himself hostage. Liam ran a hand through his wet hair. I can't lose the company, Mia. It's not just money. It's my life's work. It's my father's legacy. He looked at her, then at the eviction notice sticking out of her pile of mail on the counter. He saw it. He didn't say anything, but he saw it. So, Liam said, I am done negotiating. He reached into his jacket pocket. This time, he didn't pull out a checkbook. He pulled out a ring box. Mia stopped breathing. We do this his way, Liam said, his voice devoid of any romance. It was a business transaction. We marry. We live together for 1 year. We pretend to be a happy couple in front of him and the press. He opened the box. The ring was vintage, a massive sapphire surrounded by diamonds. It was Arthur's wife's ring. Mia recognized it from the stories Arthur had told her. In exchange, Liam continued, I will pay your mother's nursing home bills. Directly. Private suite. Best care available, starting tonight. Mia looked at him sharply. You investigated me? I told you. I have resources. He took a step closer. You need money. I need a wife. We both need Arthur to stay alive. He held the ring out to her. I will make your life hell, Mia. He warned her, his eyes cold. I am not a nice man. I work 18 hours a day. I don't do feelings. And I don't like being manipulated. I don't like you either, Mia whispered. Good, Liam said. Then it will be easy not to fall in love. He waited. Mia looked at the ring. Then she looked at the phone on the bed, thinking of the administrator's call. She thought of Arthur, holding her hand. She took a deep breath. 1 year, she said. 1 year, Liam agreed. And then you take your 10 million and you leave. Deal, Mia said. Liam took her hand. His skin was cold. He slid the heavy ring onto her finger. It was too big. It spun loosely. Pack your things, Liam ordered, turning back to the door. We're going back to the hospital. We have a performance to give. It was the most depressing wedding in the history of matrimony. There were no flowers, unless you counted the get-well-soon arrangement of lilies from the board of directors on the nightstand. There was no music, only the rhythmic beep 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 of Arthur's heart monitor providing a steady techno beat. Arthur Sterling was sitting up in bed, looking miraculously cured. The color had returned to his cheeks, likely fueled by the sheer delight of manipulating his grandson. Standing at the foot of the bed were Liam and Mia. Liam looked like he was attending a funeral for his stock portfolio. His jaw was set so hard, Mia worried he might crack a molar. He was still in his damp suit, which had begun to dry in stiff, uncomfortable wrinkles. Mia wore her waitress uniform, covered by a gray, oversized hoodie she had grabbed from her apartment. On her finger, the massive sapphire ring looked like a comically large piece of costume jewelry. A tired-looking judge, whom Liam had clearly bribed to get out of bed at this ungodly hour, stood between them holding a Bible. "Do you, Liam Alexander Sterling, take this woman?" The judge yawned. "Mia Collins, to be your lawfully wedded wife?" Liam didn't look at Mia. He stared at a spot on the wall just above her head. "I do," he clipped out. The word sounded like a threat. "And do you, Mia?" Mia hesitated. She felt the heavy weight of the ring. She thought of her mother, currently being transferred by private ambulance to the Kensington, the most exclusive memory care facility in the state. She looked at Arthur. He gave her a thumbs up, grinning like a schoolboy. "I do," Mia whispered. "By the power vested in me, I pronounce you husband and wife." "Great," Liam said immediately, checking his Rolex. "Done. Can we go now?" "You may kiss the bride," the judge added, closing his book. Liam froze. Mia froze. "That won't be necessary," Liam said coldly. "Grandfather is tired. We should let him rest." Arthur coughed loudly. "I'm not that tired." "A kiss seals the deal, Liam. Tradition." Liam let out a slow, lethal breath through his nose. He turned to Mia. Up close, she could see the flecks of gold in his icy blue eyes. She could also see the absolute exhaustion etched there. "Make it quick," he muttered, leaning down. Mia squeezed her eyes shut. His lips brushed hers. It wasn't romantic. It was barely physical. It was cold, firm, and lasted exactly 0.5 seconds. It felt like being kissed by a marble statue. He pulled back instantly. "Happy?" Liam asked his grandfather. "Ecstatic," Arthur beamed. "Now go home. Start your life. I expect grandchildren by Christmas." "Don't push it, old man," Liam warned, grabbing Mia's elbow. "Let's go." The elevator ride was silent. Mia stood in the corner, clutching the handle of her battered rolling suitcase with one hand, and Mr. Whisker's carrier with the other. The cat let out a mournful yowl every 30 seconds. Liam stood in the center, typing furiously on his phone. The doors slid open directly into the penthouse. If Mia thought the hospital suite was fancy, this place was another planet. It was massive, a cavern of floor-to-ceiling glass overlooking the entire Manhattan skyline. But it was cold. Everything was black, white, or chrome. There were no photos, no throw pillows, no books. It looked like an Apple store had a baby with a villain's lair. "Welcome home," Liam said dryly, tossing his keys into a crystal bowl. The sound echoed in the empty space. "It's spacious," Mia offered, stepping onto the polished concrete floor. Her sneakers squeaked loudly. Mr. Whiskers meowed again, a high-pitched, scratchy sound. Liam turned slowly. He looked at the plastic carrier. "I forgot to mention," Mia said quickly, hugging the carrier. "I come as a package deal. This is Mr. Whiskers." Liam stared at the cat. The cat stared back with its one good eye. "Absolutely not," Liam said. "He's house-trained," Mia lied. "Mostly, and he's old. He sleeps 20 hours a day. I have white Italian leather sofas," Liam pointed out. "I'll keep him in my room," Mia promised. "He won't touch your precious sofas. He prefers cardboard boxes anyway." Liam pinched the bridge of his nose. He looked like he was regretting every life choice that had led him to this moment. "Fine," he groaned. "But if I find one hair on my suits, the cat becomes a rug. Follow me." He led her down a long, gallery-like hallway. "That is the West Wing." He pointed to the left. "My study, my gym, my master suite. You are forbidden from entering unless the building is on fire. And even then, text me first." He pointed to the right. "This is the East Wing. Guest suites. You take the first one. It has an ensuite bath." He stopped and turned to her. "We have a housekeeper, Mrs. Gable, who comes at 8 a.m. She knows the situation. Don't try to befriend her. She's paid to be discreet, not chatty. Is there anyone in your life who you don't pay?" Mia asked quietly. Liam looked at her. For a second, his mask slipped, revealing a flash of loneliness, but he plastered it back on instantly. No, he said. It's simpler that way. Good night, Mia. He walked away into the darkness of his wing. Mia stood alone in the hallway of her new prison, holding a cat carrier. Well, Mr. Whiskers, she whispered. Welcome to the Ice Palace. The next morning, 7 a.m., Mia woke, up disoriented. The bed was too soft. The sheets were too smooth. Silk, probably. Then she remembered. The hospital, the ring, the billionaire. She groaned and rolled out of bed. She needed coffee. Desperately. She showered quickly and put on her most comfortable clothes. A pair of yellow pajama pants with cartoon ducks on them, and a faded t-shirt. She let her hair fall in messy waves. She walked out into the living room, following the smell of coffee. She found the kitchen. It was pristine, looking like it had never seen a crumb. Liam was sitting at the massive marble island. He was already dressed for work in a navy suit, crisp and terrifyingly perfect. He was reading a tablet and sipping espresso from a tiny cup. He looked up as she entered. His eyes scanned her outfit, the ducks, the messy hair. He lowered his tablet slowly. What? He asked flatly. Are you wearing? Pajamas, Mia said, walking to the cupboards and opening them one by one. Where do you keep the mugs? The big ones, not those thimbles you're drinking from. Top shelf, Liam said, watching her with morbid fascination. And those aren't pajamas. That is a visual assault. They're comfortable. Mia grabbed a mug. And since I live here now, you'll have to get used to the ducks. Is there coffee left? It's an espresso machine. Liam gestured to a chrome beast on the counter that looked like part of a spaceship. It costs $4,000. Don't touch it, you'll break it. Mia rolled her eyes. She grabbed a jar of instant coffee she had packed in her suitcase. She never traveled without it. And the kettle. I'll stick to the basics, she muttered. She made her instant coffee, stirring it loudly with a spoon. Clink, clink, clink. Liam winced at the noise. Rules, Liam said suddenly. Oh, goody. Mia leaned against the counter, blowing on her coffee. I love rules. Liam stood up. He picked up a piece of paper from the counter and slid it toward her. I typed them up. Mia picked it up. It was a list. 1. No entering the West Wing. 2. No personal items in the common areas. Shoes, coats, cat toys. 3. No cooking smelly food, curry, fish, garlic. 4. We appear in public together once a week for date night. 5. No falling in love. Mia laughed at the last one. Don't worry, Your Highness, that one will be the easiest to keep. Good, Liam said. Mrs. Gable will be here in an hour to stock the fridge with whatever peasant food you eat. I'll be home at 9 p.m. He grabbed his briefcase. Wait, Mia called out. Liam stopped at the door. What is date night? She asked. Tonight, Liam said, checking his watch. 7 p.m. Wear something that doesn't have ducks on it. We're going to the opera. I hate the opera, Mia groaned. Perfect, Liam smirked. It was the first time she had seen him smile, even if it was a cruel one. You'll fit right in. Everyone hates the opera, they just go to be seen. He walked out. The heavy door clicked shut. Mia looked at the list of rules. She took a sip of her cheap coffee. She looked at Mr. Whiskers, who had just wandered into the kitchen and was sniffing Liam's $4,000 espresso machine. Rule number 6, Mia whispered, grabbing a pen and adding it to the bottom of the list. 6. Break all the rules. Mia stood in the middle of the guest bedroom, arms spread wide, feeling like a mannequin. Mrs. Gable, the housekeeper, a stern woman with hair so tight it surely pulled her face back, was circling her with a lint roller. On the bed lay a pile of rejected dresses. Mr. Sterling insisted on the black one, Mrs. Gable muttered, frowning at the dress Mia was currently wearing. Mr. Sterling isn't wearing it, Mia countered, looking at herself in the full-length mirror. She had chosen the emerald green silk gown. It was simple, backless, and terrifyingly expensive, but it matched Arthur's sapphire ring perfectly, making the blue stone pop. For the first time in years, Mia didn't look like a waitress. She looked powerful. She had done her own makeup, simple, glowing, and left her hair down in soft waves. It's 6:55. Mrs. Gable checked her watch. He hates lateness. Go. Mia took a deep breath, grabbed a silver clutch that cost more than her car, and walked out to the living room. Liam was waiting by the window, typing on his phone. He wore a tuxedo. If he looked good in a suit, he looked criminal in a tux. "I'm ready," Mia announced. Liam turned around. His thumb hovered over the screen. He stopped typing. His eyes started at her feet, traveled up the silk of the dress, lingered on her bare back as she turned to grab a shawl, and finally landed on her face. He blinked once, twice. For a fleeting second, the cold, calculating CEO vanished. A man stood there, stunned by his own wife. "Is it too much?" Mia asked, fidgeting with the ring. "Mrs. Gable said you wanted the black one, but I looked like a gothic widow." Liam cleared his throat, shoving his phone into his pocket. The mask slammed back into place. "The green is acceptable," he said, his voice a little tighter than usual. "It matches the ring. Good branding." "Branding?" Mia scoffed. "You really are a robot." "Come on." Liam walked to the door, not waiting for her. "The car's downstairs, and remember the briefing." The car was a silent cocoon moving through the rain-slicked streets. "Review the backstory," Liam ordered, pouring himself a drink from the car's bar. He didn't offer her one. Mia sighed, reciting the lies they had rehearsed. "We met at a charity auction 6 months ago. We bonded over our mutual love of antique watches. We kept it private because of the merger." "Good," Liam nodded. "And what do you do for a living?" "I'm an art consultant," Mia said, rolling her eyes. "Because apparently honest, hard-working waitress is offensive to your friends." "It's not offensive, it's a liability," Liam corrected. "These people are vultures, Mia. If they smell blood or poverty, they will tear you apart. Tonight you are not Mia from the diner. You are Mrs. Liam Sterling. Act like you own the place." "I don't even own my shoes," Mia muttered, looking down at the borrowed heels. The car slowed to a halt. "We're here," Liam said. He turned to her. He reached out and tucked a stray lock of hair behind her ear. Mia flinched at the sudden touch. "Stay still," Liam whispered. His hand lingered on her neck. His skin was warm. "When the doors open, take my arm. Smile. Don't speak unless spoken to. And for God's sake, don't mention the cat." The moment the door opened, the world exploded in white light. Flash, flash, flash. "Liam, over here!" "Mr. Sterling, is it true you're married? Who is she? Look this way." The noise was deafening. Mia froze, blinded. Panic seized her chest. She had never been the center of attention. She was used to being invisible. She felt a hand grip her waist. Firm. Possessive. "Walk," Liam whispered in her ear. "Look at me. Ignore them." He pulled her against his side. To the cameras, it looked like a romantic embrace. In reality, he was physically holding her upright. They moved up the red carpet. Liam waved stoically. Mia tried to smile, but her lips trembled. "You're doing fine," Liam murmured, his voice surprisingly steadying amidst the chaos. "Just 10 more steps." They reached the safety of the lobby. The heavy doors closed, muting the screams of the paparazzi. Mia let out a shaky breath, pulling away from him. "That was a nightmare," she gasped. "That was Tuesday." Liam adjusted his cufflinks. "Welcome to my life." "Liam, darling." A high-pitched voice cut through the air. Mia stiffened. A woman was gliding toward them. She was tall, blonde, and wore a red dress that was clearly designed to kill. "Veronica." Liam nodded stiffly. "Mia, this is Veronica St. Clair. Her father owns the steel mills." "And Liam's ex-fiancée," Veronica added with a predatory smile, extending a limp hand to Mia. "Though we ended things amicably, didn't we, darling?" Mia took the hand. It was cold. "Nice to meet you. I'm Mia." Veronica scanned Mia with laser precision. She looked at the dress, the hair, the ring. Her eyes narrowed on the ring. "That's Arthur's ring," Veronica said, her fake smile faltering. "A bit heavy for such a delicate finger, isn't it?" "It fits perfectly," Mia lied, curling her fingers to keep it from spinning. "So, Mia," Veronica took a sip of champagne, "I haven't seen you at the club, or the Hamptons. Where did Liam find you? Which family are you from?" "I'm not from a family," Mia said honestly. "I'm from the Bronx." Veronica laughed, a tinkling, cruel sound. "Oh, Liam, you always did have a sense of humor. A charity project? How noble." She turned to Mia, her eyes gleaming with malice. "It's a lovely dress," Veronica said, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Though it must be terrifying for you, trying to play the part." She leaned in closer, her eyes gleaming with Alice. Just a word of advice. From one investment to another, don't get too comfortable in the penthouse. Liam treats wives like leases. He rarely renews the contract when the term is up. It was a subtle, venomous strike at Mia's deepest insecurity. Mia felt the blood drain from her face. She opened her mouth to defend herself, but a hand settled on the small of her back. Heavy, warm, possessive. "You seem confused, Veronica," Liam said. His voice was low, pleasant, and terrifying. "Confused?" Veronica blinked. "Mia is not a waitress," Liam said, stepping closer, towering over his ex. "She is my wife, and she is Mrs. Sterling." He turned and handed the glass to a passing waiter. "If you are thirsty," Liam continued, his eyes boring into Veronica's, "you can get it yourself, or you can leave. I own this theater, after all. I can have you escorted out before the overture starts." Veronica went pale. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. I didn't mean, enjoy the show," Liam said dismissively. He turned his back on her. He took Mia's hand, not her arm, her hand, and interlaced their fingers. "Come on," he said to Mia. "Our box is waiting." He led her up the grand staircase. Mia stared at his profile. Her heart was hammering, but not from fear this time. "You defended me," she whispered as they reached the private balcony. Liam let go of her hand as soon as they were out of sight. He checked his phone. "She insulted the Sterling name," he said dismissively. "I couldn't let it slide. It makes the stock look weak." "Right," Mia said, feeling a strange disappointment. "The stock. Sit down." Liam pulled out a velvet chair for her. Mia sat. The lights dimmed. The orchestra began to tune up. Mia looked at Liam in the dark. He was staring at the stage, jaw clenched. Under the cover of darkness, she saw his hand resting on the armrest next to hers. She moved her hand, just an inch, until her pinky brushed his. He didn't pull away. For the 3 hours of La Traviata, they didn't speak. But in the dark, their fingers remained touching. A secret current of electricity running between the waitress and the billionaire who claimed he didn't have a heart. 2 days later, the phone rang at 6 a.m. Liam was already awake, of course. He was on his treadmill in the West Wing, running as if he were chasing something, or running away from it. He answered on the second ring. "Sterling. Mr. Sterling, this is Dr. Evans from the hospital." Liam hit the emergency stop button. The treadmill jerked to a halt. He grabbed a towel, wiping sweat from his face. "Is it Arthur? Is he?" "He is stable, sir, but he is agitated. He insists on being discharged." "Discharged? To where?" "He needs 24-hour monitoring." "To Blackwood Manor," the doctor sighed. "He says the hospital air is killing him faster than his heart condition. He wants to spend his birthday weekend at the family estate, with you, and his new granddaughter-in-law." Liam cursed under his breath. "His birthday isn't until next month. I'm just the messenger, Mr. Sterling. His blood pressure rises every time we say no. If you want him to remain stable, I suggest you humor him." Liam hung up. He looked out the window at the gray, heavy sky. A blizzard was forecast for upstate New York. Perfect. He walked out of the gym, shirtless, sweating, and furious. He turned the corner into the kitchen and almost collided with Mia. She was wearing the duck pajamas again. She was holding Mr. Whiskers, dancing around the kitchen to a song playing on her phone while waiting for the kettle to boil. She froze when she saw him. Her eyes went to his chest. He was sculpted, ripped from years of discipline. She blinked rapidly, her face turning pink. "Morning," she squeaked, turning around quickly to face the counter. I didn't think you came out of the Batcave this early." "Pack a bag," Liam said, grabbing a bottle of water and ignoring her embarrassment, though he noted it. "Are we being deported?" "We're going to the country house. Arthur is demanding a family weekend." "Oh." Mia turned back, risking a glance at his face, avoiding the abs. "Is he okay?" "He's manipulative," Liam growled. "We leave in an hour. Pack warm clothes. It's going to snow." "I don't have warm clothes," Mia muttered. "I have a hoodie and a denim jacket. I'm from the city, Liam. We don't do nature." Liam looked at her. He sighed, the sound of a man burdened by the universe. "I'll have a stylist. Send a winter wardrobe to the car. Just be ready." The drive was 3 hours of torture. Liam drove. He refused to have a driver for the country trips. He said he liked the control. Mia suspected he just didn't want witnesses to their silence. Outside, the world was turning white. The snow had started as a flurry and was now a sheet of white aggression. "Can you see the road?" Mia asked, gripping the handle above the door. The car has sensors, Liam said dismissively. Relax. I'm relaxed. Mia lied. I just prefer my death to be warmer. You're not going to die. I've driven this road 1,000 times. Do you go there often? No. I hate the place. It's a mausoleum. Then why do you keep it? Assets, Liam said. Real estate portfolio. You talk about houses like they're stocks. Mia shook her head. Don't you have any happy memories there? Christmas, summer holidays? Liam's grip on the steering wheel tightened. His knuckles turned white. My parents died driving this road, he said. The words were flat, devoid of emotion. Mia froze. The air in the car seemed to vanish. Liam, I didn't know. It was a storm like this. I was 8. I was waiting at the window for them to come home. They never did. Arthur raised me after that. He turned on the blinker, exiting the highway onto a narrow, unplowed private road. So no, he said, staring ahead. I don't have happy memories. I have ghosts. Mia looked at him. Suddenly, the coldness, the walls, the obsession with control. It all made sense. He was just a boy still waiting at the window, trying to control a world that had taken everything from him. She reached out, tentatively touching his arm. I'm sorry, she whispered. Liam flinched, pulling his arm away. Don't, he warned. I don't need pity. It's not pity, Mia said softly. It's empathy. There's a difference. Liam didn't answer. He just drove faster into the white void. The house was terrifying and beautiful. It was a Victorian Gothic mansion, made of dark stone, sitting on a hill surrounded by pine trees heavy with snow. It looked like the setting of a horror movie, where the couple definitely dies first. They pulled up to the front. The house was dark. Where are the lights? Mia asked. Generator probably hasn't kicked in yet, Liam muttered. They got out. The wind was brutal. Liam grabbed the bags, including her new designer winter gear, and marched to the door. He unlocked it. Mrs. Higgins? He called out. Grayson. Silence. The house was freezing. Dust sheets covered the furniture in the grand hall. There was a note taped to the antique mirror. Liam ripped it off. Mr. Sterling. The storm knocked out the power lines in the valley. The staff couldn't make it up the hill. Roads are blocked. We stocked the pantry. Generator's out of fuel. So sorry. Grayson. Liam crushed the note in his hand. Arthur. He hissed. What? Mia shivered, hugging her new cashmere coat. He planned this. He gave the staff the day off. He knew the storm was coming. Why would he do that? To trap us. Liam threw the keys on the table. He wants us to play house. No staff. No power. Just us. And him. He's not coming. Liam realized, checking his phone. No signal, of course. He's safe in the hospital, laughing at us. Mia looked around the dark, freezing mansion. Well, she said, trying to be optimistic. At least we have a roof. And a pantry. I can cook. You can cook? Liam looked skeptical. I worked in a diner for 5 years, Liam. I can make a grilled cheese sandwich that will make you cry. Now where is the firewood? Unless you want to freeze to death with your assets. The library was the only warm room in the house. A massive fire was roaring in the stone hearth. Mia had built it herself while Liam tried and failed to get a signal on the roof. They had dragged a mattress from one of the guest rooms and placed it in front of the fire, creating a makeshift camp. Outside, the blizzard was howling, burying the world in silence. Inside, the firelight danced on the walls of books. Mia sat on the mattress, cross-legged, wearing wool socks and holding a plate of sandwiches. Liam sat on a leather armchair, loosening his tie. He had finally given up on work. His laptop was dead. His phone was a brick. He looked undone. His hair was messy from the wind. His sleeves were rolled up. Eat, Mia ordered, handing him a sandwich. It's toasted on the fire. Primitive, but effective. Liam took it. He took a bite. He stopped. He looked at the sandwich, then at Mia. This is amazing? Edible, he corrected, but he took another huge bite. Surprisingly edible. He reached for the bottle of vintage whiskey he had found. He poured 2 glasses. He handed one to her. Drink. It will warm you up. Mia took a sip. It burned pleasantly. So, she said, watching the flames. No internet, no stocks, no employees to yell at. What does Liam Sterling do when he's just Liam? I don't know, Liam admitted, staring into his glass. I haven't been just Liam since I was 8. That's sad, Mia said. It's efficient. Tell me something real. Mia challenged him. Not the bio on your website. Tell me something nobody knows. Liam looked at her. The firelight softened the sharp angles of her face. She looked beautiful. Not gala beautiful, but real. Accessible. Maybe it was the whiskey. Maybe it was the isolation. But the walls came down. I wanted to be an architect, Liam said quietly. Really? I used to draw houses, not skyscrapers, homes, places with big kitchens and messy gardens. He gestured to the dark house around them. I hate this place because it's perfect. It's cold. A home shouldn't be perfect. It should be lived in. Mia smiled. A genuine, soft smile. You know, she said, moving a little closer to the fire, and, inadvertently, closer to his chair. For a grumpy billionaire who hates feelings, you have a very poetic soul. Liam scoffed, but he didn't pull away. And you? He asked. What does Mia Collins want, besides $10 million? I want to open a bakery, Mia said instantly. A real one, where everything smells like cinnamon and vanilla, and I want to foster cats, lots of them, and I want… She hesitated. What? Liam urged. I want to not be alone, she whispered. I've been on my own since my mom got sick. It's exhausting, being the strong one all the time. Liam looked at her. He saw the fatigue behind her eyes. He saw the strength it took to keep smiling when the world kept kicking her. He slid off the armchair. He sat on the mattress next to her, not touching but close enough to feel her heat. You're not alone right now, Liam said. It was the kindest thing he had ever said to her. Mia turned to look at him. The air between them shifted. It wasn't the hostile tension of the city. It was magnetic. The storm raged outside, but in that circle of firelight it was quiet. Liam, Mia whispered. He looked at her lips. He leaned in, slowly this time, giving her a choice. Tell me to stop, he said again, echoing the night in the car. But this time, it wasn't a warning. It was a plea. Don't, Mia breathed. He kissed her. It wasn't like the wedding kiss. It was slow, deep, tasting of whiskey and wood smoke. Mia's hand went to his hair. Liam's arm wrapped around her waist, pulling her flush against him. They fell back onto the mattress, the fire crackling beside them. For the first time, Liam Sterling wasn't thinking about the merger or the legacy or the past. He was just thinking that for a mausoleum, this house suddenly felt very much alive. Sunlight blinded them. The storm had passed. Mia woke up warm. She was wrapped in a heavy duvet, but the real heat was coming from the body behind her. Liam was asleep, his arm draped possessively over her waist, his face buried in the crook of her neck. Mia froze. Oh my God. She remembered the whiskey, the fire, the kiss, everything else. Panic set in. Not regret, never regret, but panic. Because rule number 5 was no falling in love. And looking at Liam's sleeping face, looking younger and softer than she had ever seen him, Mia realized she was in big trouble. She wasn't just falling. She had already hit the ground. Suddenly a loud noise shattered the peace. The sound of a helicopter. Liam woke up instantly. His eyes snapped open. The soldier was back. He sat up, looking at the window. The rescue team, he said, rubbing his face. He looked down at Mia. The softness of the night before evaporated. The daylight brought reality back with a crash. He pulled away, standing up and buttoning his wrinkled shirt. Get dressed, Liam said, his voice raspy but distant. The helicopter will take us back to the city. I have a board meeting at 2 p.m. Mia sat up, pulling the duvet around her. She felt cold again. Liam? She asked. About last night. Liam stopped at the door. He didn't turn around. We were cold, he said stiffly. We were drunk. It was a mistake. He opened the door. Let's not mention it again. Stick to the contract, Mia. He walked out. Mia sat alone in front of the dying embers of the fire. A mistake. She touched her lips. You liar, she whispered to the empty room. You felt it too. 1 week later, the silence in the penthouse was different now. Before the snowstorm, it was the silence of 2 strangers ignoring each other. Now, it was the heavy, suffocating silence of 2 people trying desperately to forget they had touched. Liam was a ghost. He worked 20 hours a day. He slept in his office. He avoided the East Wing as if it were radioactive. Mia was miserable. She sat on the kitchen counter, defying rule number 2, feeding Mr. Whiskers a piece of premium salmon she had stolen from Liam's chef. She checked her phone. No texts from Liam, just a notification from a news app. then another, then 10 more. She frowned, clicking on the headline that was suddenly trending on Twitter. The billion-dollar waitress. Is the Sterling marriage a fraud? Sources close to the family reveal that Liam Sterling's new bride is a waitress from the Bronx with massive debts. Is this a love match, or a desperate bid to secure the inheritance? Mia's stomach dropped. There were photos of her in her uniform, photos of her mother's nursing home, and a quote from an anonymous socialite. Veronica, obviously. She's a paid actress. Everyone knows Liam is incapable of love. The elevator doors chimed. Liam stormed. In. He wasn't alone. 2 lawyers and his PR manager were trailing him like sharks smelling blood. Don't speak, Liam barked at Mia before she could open her mouth. He threw a tablet onto the counter. The stock market graph was red. Sterling Corp stock dropped 8% in 2 hours. The board is calling for a vote of no confidence. They think I'm mentally unstable for marrying a liability. A liability? Mia slid off the counter. I didn't leak this, Liam. I know you didn't. Liam ran a hand through his hair, looking on the verge of exploding. Veronica did, but it doesn't matter. The narrative is out there. They think our marriage is a sham. It is a sham, Mia shouted. The lawyers flinched. Not in public, Liam roared, slamming his hand on the marble island. In public it is the romance of the century, or it was until today. He turned to the PR manager. Draft a statement. We deny everything. We schedule a press conference. His phone rang. The specific ringtone he had. For the hospital. The room went dead silent. Liam answered. His face, already pale, turned gray. I see, he whispered. I'm coming. He hung up. He looked at Mia. The anger was gone, replaced by a terrified hollowness. It's Arthur, he said. He saw the news. He had a massive heart attack. They don't know if he'll make it through the night. It was déjà vu. The same antiseptic smell. The same rain against the windows. But this time Arthur wasn't sitting up making jokes. He was in the ICU, intubated, fighting for every breath. Liam stood by the window, staring at the dark city. He hadn't moved in an hour. Mia sat in a plastic chair, twisting the sapphire ring on her finger. He'll be okay, Mia said softly. He's tough. Stop it, Liam said without turning. Stop what? Stop hoping. Stop pretending that positive thinking fixes anything. It doesn't. He turned to face her. His eyes were red-rimmed, cold and cruel. He was lashing out, looking for somewhere to put his pain. This is my fault, Liam said. I let this happen. I played his game. I brought you into this mess. You didn't bring me in. Mia stood up. I chose to help him. And look where it got us. Liam gestured to the ICU doors. He's dying. The company is tanking. And I am standing here, distracted. Distracted? Mia asked, hurt flashing in her eyes. Is that what I am? A distraction? Yes. Liam stepped closer, pushing her away with words. You are a variable I can't control. I was fine before you came, efficient, focused. Now, I'm weak. You're not weak because you have feelings, Liam, Mia argued, tears stinging her eyes. You're weak because you're terrified of them. What happened at the cabin? The cabin was a fantasy. Liam cut her off brutally. It wasn't real life. He pointed to the dying man, the lawyers in the hallway, the news crews outside. This is real life. And in real life, I can't afford you. He reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a checkbook. Mia gasped. Don't you dare. I'm ending the contract, Liam said, his voice shaking but determined. I'm buying you out. Early. He scribbled furiously. He tore the check out. $10 million, he said, thrusting it at her. Take it. Go. Get your mother the best care. Open your bakery. Just leave. Liam, Mia whispered, ignoring the paper. I don't want the money. I want you to look at me. I want you to admit that you care. I care about saving my legacy, Liam lied. He forced the check into her hand. Go, Mia, before I say something I can't take back. You already have, Mia said. She looked at the check. $10 million. Freedom. She looked at Liam, the man she had started to love, the man who was currently choosing fear over love. She slowly crumpled the check in her fist. She dropped the ball of paper at his feet. You really are poor, Mia said, her voice full of sorrow. You have all this money, and you have absolutely nothing. She reached for her left hand. She pulled off the sapphire ring. She placed it on the windowsill next to him. Click. Goodbye, Liam. Tell Arthur, Tell him I'm sorry I couldn't save his grandson." Mia walked out. She didn't run. She walked. She walked past the lawyers, past the PR team, out of the hospital doors and into the rainy night. She didn't look back. Liam stood alone. He looked at the crumpled check on the floor. He looked at the ring on the sill. He felt a scream building in his chest, a primal thing he had suppressed since he was 8 years old. "Mr. Sterling?" A doctor stepped out of the ICU. Liam wiped his face instantly, composing himself. He's awake," the doctor said, looking surprised. "He wants to see you." Liam rushed into the room. Arthur looked small in the bed. His skin was gray, but his eyes were open. Liam grabbed his hand. "I'm here, grandfather. I'm here." Arthur looked around the room. "Where is she?" Arthur wheezed. Liam froze. She left. I sent her away." Arthur closed his eyes. A tear leaked out. "You fool," the old man whispered. "I did it to save the company," Liam insisted, gripping the bed rail. "The scandal, the stress, it was killing you. It was destroying everything." Arthur squeezed Liam's hand with the last of his strength. "The company is just a building, Liam," Arthur rasped. "I built it to take care of my family, not to replace them." He looked at his grandson with profound sadness. "I didn't make that deal to save her, Liam. I made it to save you from becoming me." Arthur's breath hitched. The monitor beeped faster. "Don't make my mistake," Arthur whispered. "Don't die alone with your money." "Arthur? Arthur!" The monitor flatlined. A long, high-pitched tone filled the room. Beep. "Code blue. Room 402. Nurses rushed in. They pushed Liam back. "Clear." Liam was shoved into the hallway. He stood there watching through the glass as they shocked his grandfather's chest. But he wasn't looking at Arthur. He was seeing Mia walking away in the rain. He was seeing the crumpled check. He was seeing the empty penthouse. And for the first time in his life, Liam Sterling realized that the crash hadn't just happened. He had been crashing for 20 years, and he had just pushed away the only parachute he had. 2 days later, Mia was packing. Again. But this time it wasn't for a penthouse. It was for a bus. She couldn't stay in New York. Her face was on every tabloid. She had lost her job at the diner. Too much press attention. She had no money. She was moving to Ohio, where she had a cousin who said she could sleep on the couch. Mr. Whiskers was in his carrier, sensing the mood. Mia taped up the last box. She looked at the empty apartment. It felt heavier than before, because now she knew what she was missing. Her phone rang. A blocked number. She ignored it. It rang again. She picked it up. "I'm not giving interviews," she snapped. "Mia." It wasn't a reporter. It was Liam. His voice sounded wrecked, hoarse, broken. "Don't hang up," he begged. "Please." "What do you want, Liam? Did you find another check?" "Arthur died," Liam said. Mia dropped the box of tape. Her hand flew to her mouth. "No," she sobbed. "Oh God. Liam, I'm so sorry." "The funeral is tomorrow," Liam said. He sounded like a child lost in the dark. I can't do it alone. I know I have no right to ask. I know I broke everything, but he loved you. Please." Silence stretched between them. Mia wiped her tears. She looked at her packed bags. She looked at the door. She hated him for hurting her, but she loved Arthur. And despite everything, hearing the crack in Liam's voice broke her heart all over again. "I'll be there," Mia whispered. "Thank you," Liam breathed. "Mia?" "Yes?" "You were right," he said softly. "I am poor. I'm the poorest man on earth." The line went dead. It was raining again. Of course it was. A sea of black umbrellas surrounded the grave. The elite of New York were there, not to, mourn Arthur, but to be seen mourning him. Liam stood at the front, alone. He looked hollowed out. He hadn't slept in 3 days. He kept checking his watch, then looking at the gates. Then, a taxi pulled up. Mia stepped out. She wasn't wearing designer clothes. She wore a simple black dress and held a cheap umbrella. She stood at the back of the crowd, head bowed. Liam turned. He saw her. For the first time in days, the color returned to his face. He started to move toward her, but the priest began to speak. Liam froze. He had to deliver the eulogy. He walked to the podium. He looked out at the faces of the board members, the investors, the vultures. Then he looked at Mia. Arthur Sterling was a titan, Liam began, his voice mechanical. He built an empire. He stopped. He looked at the script his PR team had written. He crumpled it up. Arthur Sterling was a pain in the ass, Liam said into the microphone. A gasp rippled through the crowd. He was stubborn, he was manipulative, and he was the only father I ever had. Liam's voice cracked. He spent his last days trying to teach me something. He tried to tell me that money keeps you warm, but it doesn't hold your hand when you die. He looked directly at Mia across the sea of graves. I didn't listen, Liam whispered. I was too busy counting coins while he was counting moments. And now, I'm the poorest man here. He stepped down. He didn't wait for applause. He walked straight through the rain toward Mia. You came, he said, stopping inches from her. I promised him, Mia said softly. Her eyes were sad but dry. Mia, Not here, Liam. She cut him off. The lawyers are watching. The library was crowded. The same room where Arthur had first blackmailed them. Mr. Henderson, the family attorney, sat at the head of the table. Liam sat on the right. Mia sat on the left, looking uncomfortable. Let's get this over with, Liam said. I assume he left the company to me and the charity donations to the cat. Not exactly, Mr. Henderson said, adjusting his glasses. He opened the heavy envelope. Arthur updated his will 3 hours before he died, Henderson announced. Liam stiffened. He left a video message. He wanted you both to watch it. Henderson pressed a button. A screen descended. Arthur's face appeared. He was in his hospital bed, looking pale but mischievous. Hello, children. Video Arthur rasped. If you're watching this, I'm dead. Stop crying, Liam. It ruins the suit. Liam let out a choked laugh. I have spent my life building Sterling Corp, Arthur continued. But a company without a heart is just a machine. And Liam, my boy, your heart has been frozen for 20 years. Arthur leaned into the camera. So I have made a decision. I am leaving 100% of my assets, my stocks, and the controlling interest of Sterling Corp. The room held its breath. To Mia Collins. Silence. Absolute earth-shattering silence. Liam stared at the screen. Mia dropped her cup of tea. It shattered. What? Mia whispered. However, Arthur's video continued. There is a clause. Mia, you have full control. You can keep the billions. You can sell the company. You can fire Liam. Or you can give it back to him. Arthur smiled. A sad, knowing smile. But you should only give it back if he earns it. Not with profits, but with humanity. The choice is yours, my dear. Save him, or set yourself free. The screen went black. Mr. Henderson closed the folder. It is legally binding. Ms. Collins, you are now the owner of Sterling Corp. Liam stood up slowly. He looked at Mia. He didn't look angry. He looked relieved. He laughed. A real loud laugh. The old fox. Liam shook his head. He really did it. He walked over to Mia. She was shaking. I don't want it, she panicked. Liam, I don't want an empire. I can't run a corporation. I know, Liam said gently. He reached into his pocket. He didn't pull out a checkbook. He pulled out his keys to the penthouse, to the office, to the car. He placed them on the table in front of her. It's yours, Mia, Liam said. He was right. I don't deserve it. I chose the money over you. A CEO doesn't make that mistake. He turned to leave. Where are you going? Mia cried out. To start over, Liam said. I have an architecture degree I never used. Maybe I'll design houses, real ones, with messy gardens. He walked to the door. Liam, wait. Mia stood up. She looked at the keys. She looked at the billions of dollars sitting on the table. Then she looked at the man walking away from it all without a fight. I have a counteroffer, she announced. Liam stopped. Mia walked over to him. She picked up the keys and shoved them into his chest. I'm not running this company, she said. I'm busy. I have a bakery to open. Liam looked at the keys. You're giving it back? No, Mia smiled. I'm hiring you. As the CEO. You're hiring me? On one condition. Mia raised a finger. Rule number 1. No more working weekends. Rule number 2. We donate 10% of profits to memory care facilities. She stepped closer, grabbing his lapels. And rule number 3, she whispered. You have to marry the boss. Liam stared at her, his eyes filled with tears. You'd marry me? He choked out. After everything? I fired you. I insulted you. You were scared, Mia said. And you're an idiot. But you're my idiot. And I seem to recall a promise about a 1-year contract. Screw the contract, Liam groaned. He grabbed her face and kissed her. It wasn't a movie kiss, it was desperate, messy, and full of a lifetime of apologies. The lawyers awkwardly looked away. 1 year later, the Sterling and Collins bakery was crowded. The smell of cinnamon rolls drifted out onto the street. Behind the counter, Liam Sterling was working. He wasn't covered in flour. He was wearing a crisp white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, working the espresso machine with the same surgical precision he used to apply to stock trades. He didn't look clumsy. He looked focused. He poured steamed milk into a cup, creating a flawless fern design in the foam with a flick of his wrist. "Order for table 4, Liam called out, his voice carrying that natural authority. He slid the cup onto the counter. Perfect temperature. Extraction time, 25 seconds exactly. Mia laughed, walking past him with a tray of fresh croissants. She kissed his cheek. "You're intense, Sterling. It's just coffee." "It's excellence, Mia," he corrected, catching her around the waist before she could dart away. He pulled her close. "If we're going to do this, we're going to be the best in the city." Mia leaned back into him, looking at the bustling shop. "We already are," she whispered. Liam looked at the photo of Arthur hanging by the register, then down at his wife. He didn't miss the boardroom. He didn't miss the empty penthouse. He realized that efficiency wasn't about speed. It was about happiness. "I love you," he whispered in her ear. "I know," Mia smiled. "Now, get back to work, CEO. Table 6 is waiting. Sometimes you have to lose everything to find what truly matters." Liam chose love over his legacy, and in the end, he got both. What would you do? Would you give up $1 billion for true love? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story warmed your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional romances. Thanks for watching.